It's 4 o'clock, time to tune into yourself and turn out the outside chatter and have a feel-good 15-20 minutes of time with yourself. Today we're going to continue with the hips and pelvic floor, relationships between the two. You can do everything on the chair. So I'm going to give a few chair instructions to begin. When we do Badda Konasana, you could squeeze the block between your knees and change. As we continue, you could adjust the block, or alternately, you could put the block between between the soles of your feet and push, whichever seems to work. If you push this way, not so good, but push with the bottom of your feet if you're sitting on the chair, and you'll still get some action here. Then we're going to stand up and put our foot on the chair. If you're able to do this, fine, or you could stand up and put your foot on a block. Okay, or if you're confined to the chair, you can just put your leg out to the side and lift and drop the hip with the instruction. Okay, so that's a lift and drop, lift and drop. And I'm going to start out on the floor, and you can follow along on the chair, as I said, by squeezing the block. So let's start just on the floor. Now, we've been working with the hips all week, and you can rotate the hip in the femur, okay, like so, to get warmed up. And if you have tight psoas muscles, if you run a lot, you might need to take a blanket like I have here and fold it maybe 3 times so that you have added height for your buttocks. Okay, because some people are very tight here, usually from running. Okay, so let's just start again, lifting if you have your blocks. Lift up. Okay, lift up. So we're going to do Cobbler's pose. So let's just put the soles of our feet together pretty far away. And just for another warm-up, take your right hand underneath the right shin and just lengthen the spine for a while. And you can do this on the chair by dropping your right shoulder and moving your left shoulder back just to get a bit of stretch in the lower back. And come on up, and let's take our left arm under our left shin and just sit with it for a while. Drop the sit bones, stretch the right side. And then roll the shoulders. Okay, so Badda Konasana is Cobbler's pose. I guess at one time in India, maybe other places too, the cobbler would put the shoe between his feet and do the work. Okay? You're lucky if you could find a shoemaker these days. Okay, so let's just sit and bring the heels as close to our bottom parts as we can. Okay, you can hold your ankles and press the soles of the feet together and just make slight butterfly motions. Okay, slight butterfly motions. These adductors often get weak if we have medial issues in our knees or issues in our hips. They're the first ones to kind of signal hip problem. Okay, and now if we look at our feet and press the little toe side of the foot together and move the big toes apart. Just do that a few times. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take our index finger between the first and second toe and pull and lift up. Actually, it's nice to use the index and middle finger pull up with the big toe, drop the little toe side of the foot. And you can do a little flutters here. Okay, so then we're going to start with a block. So we're going to put the most narrow part of the block between the right and left foot and press the soles of the feet. You can hold your ankles against the block. And here on the chairs where you could put this block between your knee or between the soles of the feet on your floor. And push. You can lean forward, hold your feet just so you can get a good grip on that block and push your feet against the block. Okay? Now let's try it this way with your hands behind you and push your feet against the block. Okay? And lift your heart. Push the block. As if you're trying to marry your right and left foot, but there's something between them that's keeping them apart, and it's the block. Okay? And then relax. We're going to turn the block to the next biggest side. So rather, in all that work, all those feet didn't get back together, even though they've been trying to move further apart by maybe a couple inches. Hold your ankles and just push the block. Okay? Lifting the spine out. The spine comes out of the pelvis. It's a lot to do, but you can try doing it. Try the best you can. Lifting the spine out of the pelvic bowl as you push the block with the right and left foot. Okay? And then let's move our hands back. You can squeeze the block now, lifting the buttocks a bit up off the floor. Not much. They are actually touching the floor, but not as much weight in them. You get more adductor strengthening this way. You can feel your adductors working. And then relax. And of course, there's one more distance that we can use on the block. And if you're on the chair, that's between your knees. We're going to put the arches of our foot against the block. Hold the ankles, lift the spine up, push the block together. Okay, push the block together. This strengthens the knee as well. Push the block together. Lifting the spine up out of the pelvic bowl. Now we're going to just lean back a little and push the block together. Okay? Squeeze the upper back, lift the heart, and relax. Okay, so now we're going to move our feet in, repeat, drop those knees, and you'll see that they go down a lot further than they did at the beginning. Okay, just that. So drop the knees, you can hold your ankles, lift up out of your pelvic bowl. Now take the two. Now first we'll do this. We'll put our hands behind us, open up those legs. You can move your pubis towards your heels and lift up. Lift the heart, squeeze the upper back, drop the knees. It is stretch, it is some work. It shouldn't feel uncomfortable, but you should feel it. Okay? Then we're going to take our two fingers, put them between the big toe and the second toe. Drop the little toe side of the foot, lift up on the big toe, and drop the knees. Flatten the back best you can. Lengthen the back of the neck. Badda Konasana. Okay, and now just bring your knees together. And we're going to stand up now. Everybody needs a chair. Okay. So I've marked my feet. Hopefully you can see that I have an X here. That's the inner arch. And we also have an outer arch right here. So it's below the, where the outer ankle pokes out in the sole of the foot. Okay? So we're going to put our foot, right foot, up on the chair and press down on the chair and lift both the inner and outer ankle. So you're lifting you're lifting your inner arch, which you can see here, and that X below the protrusion of your outside ankle. Okay? And pull this femur bone into the hip socket as you lift here. Okay? Now we want to drop the buttock flesh, the right buttock down. So a lot going on, even though it looks very simple. We're lifting arches of the inside and outside arch of the foot, pulling the femur bone into the hip socket. You can push this back a little bit, dropping the right buttock flesh and lifting this leg. Lifting up out of your standing leg. Okay, now relax. And I'd like you to lift the right buttock and drop the right buttock. Lift and drop. Lift, drop, and lift. Drop and lift. Drop and lift. This is a lot of action for the SI joint. Drop and lift. Drop and lift. Drop and lift. Okay, and now can you just, again, go back to the beginning. This is the outer arch underneath the ankle. Okay, so we're going to lift both inner arches of both right and left foot and both outer arches. Okay, very strong for the standing leg. So you'll feel the shin bones moved up and the quads are really gripping and caressing the femur bone. Okay, and on this foot, push the knee back as much. If you can lean against a wall, well, I guess you can't with a chair, but you want to try to get the back flat, the hips parallel. Okay, suck the femur bone into the hip socket and drop the right buttock flesh down. Okay, relax the toes and arms come up. Strong tree, Vrksansana, not Vrksansana, I'm sorry. Tree pose. Lift up, lift up, lift up, push down, lift the arches, move that right femur bone into the hip socket and drop the right buttock flesh. And let your branches open. And now we'll do the left leg. And just take a moment to experience the nice feeling in this right hip. Okay, so let's begin. Lift up your left foot. So the left foot is as parallel to the right leg as possible. For some people, you might have to go a little forward. And also, if the chair is too high, you can find a stool. You can put your foot on the block. So let's just start by moving this knee back a bit, lifting both the inside and outside arch on your left foot. Okay, pull the femur bone into the hip socket. Drop the left buttock flesh down and open the eyelid of the right leg. Okay, lift up, navel goes slightly back, sternum slightly back, and let's relax. Now we're going to drop and lift, drop and lift, drop and lift. The left buttock, drop it down, lift it up, drop it down, lift it up, drop it down, lift it up, drop it down, lift it up. So really get to know this left buttock and hip action here. Okay, and you can feel what happens between the legs and the pelvic bowl when you drop and lift. Everything shifts. So the hips go diagonally, the pelvic bowl drops, so the firmness disappears. Okay. Okay, let's start again. So we're going to lift the inside arch and the outside arch of both feet. Okay, both feet. Toes forward. Okay, push the knee slightly back, or at least rest your hands there. Lift both arches. Suck the left femur bone into the hip socket. Drop that left buttock as much as you can. And feel the firmness in the quad, in the ab, in the lower back, holding the pelvis very stable. Using the abs, using the buttocks. Open the eyelid of the groin here. and then hands up. So firm foundation for the tree. And open up your tree branches. You can take your foot down. And let's just stand in Tadasana to end our class today. It's a 15-minute class. So toes long, lift the inside and outside arch. Again, the outside arch is right here. My teacher Dasa used to put a pencil underneath that spot on both sides so we knew where to lift. You can try that on your own later. So lift the inside and outside arch. What happens when you let go of your arches? Your kneecaps drop, your quadriceps get soft. So rather than tell you to lift your knees or tighten your quads, just lift those arches in your feet. Let the toes be long like rose petals. Open the eyelid of the groin, navel slightly back, sternum slightly back, collarbones going strongly east and west, head going north, feet going south, palms out, and smile. So I'll see you next video. Have a great rest of the day.